Oh, sorry. I'm about to do a Canadian channel review, so make sure you get your Tims and your poutine and take off your toques, sit down, get comfortable. Don't be a hoser. Watch it till the end so you get all the tips. All right, let's get started. Oh, all right. Well, part of me just died. Yeah, we're here to do a paid channel review. This one is going to be I think possibly a bit of a challenge. This came to me through an unusual means. Normally we get it through the Small YouTubers Boost channel or Facebook group. This actually came through our Canadian YouTubers Facebook group. If you are a Canadian, if you're in Canada and you're a YouTuber, you might want to go check that out, join that community, and get all the tips that we've got there, find opportunities to collab maybe locally and stuff like that. It's quite fantastic. And the reason that I think this is going to be a challenge is not because it's a Canadian channel that I'm looking at today. I'm excited to look at a fellow Canadian channel. I think that what the challenge is that I happen to know that the person who reached out for me for this review is a fan of this channel. So they've watched our earlier reviews. And so they've probably heard a lot of my common advice. So I think that might add a little bit of a challenge to this particular review. But, let's find out and dive right in. So just quickly before I get started, though, my YouTube could look a little bit different from yours. For one thing, I have Premium, I have Dark Mode, and I have TubeBuddy, the browser plugin installed with a Legend level account. And if you don't have TubeBuddy, you're going to want to go and get it. There's an affiliate link down below in the description. It's hugely important to growing your channel. I use it every single day. It helps your channel grow, helps you learn SEO, helps you manage your channel and save time so you can spend more time making videos and promoting them and things like that. So there's all that. And so this is a paid channel review. If you're interested in getting a paid channel review, you can message me on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram for a relatively reasonable price. If you're Canadian, it would probably be one of the green, purple, and blue notes, or a couple of greens would be good. Just to give you an idea of the approximate cost. The cost can fluctuate, so that's just the cost as it is right now. But if that's something you're interested in, it's going to be a 45 to 60 minute review full of action items for the channel. And of course, we'll have a link to the channel in the description, info cards, and the end screen as well. One thing that I recommend is that the channel maybe come back in 6, 9, 12, 24 months and just kind of watch the review again at that point to see how far you've come, but also to maybe be reminded of some things. I'm constantly having to remind myself of different things that I kind of already know, but you got to bring it to the surface and think critically about your channel. So I find that that can be helpful that way. Speaking of which, if this isn't your channel I'm reviewing, I do still recommend you stick around because a lot of the stuff I'm going to be talking about is going to apply to a multitude of channels, and it's going to be I'm going to be talking about the platform itself and strategies and technical things you could be doing. And so there's going to be a lot of useful nuggets in there for, I think, everybody who's wanting to grow their channel. So with that having been said, let's start the clock. And we're going to look at a channel today called Sister Tries It. And so I find that an intriguing name for a channel. I think it's a great name. TubeBuddy gives it an SEO score of good, but sometimes when it comes to a name, you want to consider more than just SEO. And so does the name convey what the channel is about, and does it intrigue or entice your audience? And so in this case, I think it definitely is intriguing because this has been on my to-do list for a little while, and I appreciate the patience of the channel waiting for this review to get done. And I've been looking forward to this because I'm curious. Sister Tries It, that's an intriguing channel name. And so what is it about? My first assumption when I heard the name was thinking that it was sort of like, I want to say like the Try Guys, but I've never watched the Try Guys, so I don't actually know what they're all about. But I would imagine that it is, a female who is trying different things. And so I think that's interesting. So let's just go right in. I like to begin by searching for the channel name because I know nothing about the channel. And so if someone were to, for some reason, be curious about this channel, this is how they would first encounter it. We spend a lot of time focusing on what our videos look like in search results and things like that. But we often forget about our channels are searchable in that same way. So I like to look at it that way because it's not always something everyone considers. So let's take a look here. First off, I really like the profile picture. It's an attractive young girl. And so that's positive. It's Sister Tries It. Presumably this is the sister that's trying things. And so I think that's pretty good. It's smiling. It's got a good color saturation. I have almost nothing to really add to the profile picture. I think that's really, really solid. So let's see here. We've got 120 subscribers on 24 videos. And so the description is, "Hey sisters, my name is Anna and I'm all about trying new things relating to fashion, beauty, wellness, and more. I'm currently a ... What are you?" So like you've got that intrigue thing. It's like, are you a student? Are you, I don't know, are you working at a salon? Like what, we are currently a what? But at the same time, I think we could tighten this up a little bit. I'm a big stickler for the beginning part of channel descriptions because it's really some key characters that people see in search results like this. So my name is Anna. You could shorten that to I'm Anna. I'm Anna and all about, and I'm all about, either is fine. So I'm Anna and I'm all about trying new things relating to fashion, beauty, wellness, and more. And so I think that's pretty good. You're getting to the point of it really quickly. You're getting some SEO words in there, fashion, beauty, wellness. And so that's pretty good. But yeah, I think we could tighten it up just a little bit. Instead of my name is Anna, just saying I'm Anna and I'm all about. Then you get into it faster, you get a few more characters. And I'm not sure what comes after I'm currently a, but if it that might still, even having more of that could still intrigue people to click more. A couple of the video results that are showing up here says the latest from Sister Tries It. And so it's interesting. Looks like we've got a video from 2 days ago and a video from 13 days ago. And it's interesting because the pictures of the person, I mean, they look almost like a different person. The person in the profile picture versus the one who appears in the first thumbnail versus the one who appears in the third thumbnail. I mean, it could just be, lighting and makeup and stuff like that, angles, but they almost all kind of look like slightly different people, which is kind of interesting. And so one thing I think that's also interesting, I see that there is, in the thumbnail picture, it looks like she's wearing a gray shirt, maybe with a leather jacket, and she's got the glasses. And so I'm thinking whenever you can recreate that look, especially when we're talking about fashion, at least in some of the thumbnails, like for example, the second video is about cutting hair during lockdown. So it's not a try-on haul. So the try-on haul, yeah, you want to be showing the clothes that you're trying on in the thumbnail, absolutely. But for the other one, if you could recreate the profile a little bit for slightly more consistent image. So if she's wearing the gray shirt, which I think she is, but with the leather jacket and with the glasses, maybe for the thumbnail, might be something to consider just for that consistency of look. But that's really a minor thought. So the cider try-on haul. I just want to talk about this thumbnail for a second here. We got a couple of things going. When you're doing a try-on haul, having a couple pictures of you in the different outfits, popping against the background, very smart, very effective. That's done very well here. When I look at it, try-on haul, that pops very good there. It's a good, easily read font. It's got a stroke outline on it and a drop shadow that's black against the white. Good contrast. The challenge for me here is the word cider. I'm not familiar with the cider brand. I don't know what that is. And so maybe if I knew what that was and I was part of that audience, that would maybe click a little bit better. Maybe people recognize like that font and that logo. But for me, I almost didn't even see it. And so what I would think is rather than putting Try On Haul on top of the logo of the brand is if you could maybe put Try On Haul off to the side and down a little bit so we can see more of the brand name, that might be a good idea. And you could also put Try On Haul because, I mean, if you tried to put it directly under, you'd cover up her face and then maybe shrink it down. Those are all issues. But you could put the Try On Haul almost partly covering the sweater a little bit, because it's a repeating pattern. So if some of that's obscured by the words try on haul, I think that's okay. It's also interesting. I noticed in the title, it says viral orange sweater. So I imagine that sweater is something, I've never seen it before, but I imagine it's something that has gone viral, maybe on Instagram or TikTok or something. And so if some of it is slightly obscured, people will still probably know what it is. You could also move her over to the side a little bit. With her hands out, she's not totally centered. There's more space on one side from the hand to the edge of the thumbnail than the other. So you could move her over a little bit, put the try on haul down, and then maybe you can make that cider a little bit easier to see. Maybe even making the word cider a little smaller, possibly, so that it's not like touching the top of the thumbnail. Maybe, I don't know, just so it's less obscured. It's also interesting because the background image seems fairly effective because I think it's a picture of like the collection of the clothes on a hanger, on a rack. And so that's fine. It's so faded that it might be a little too faded. You might be losing a little little bit of what that is, but there is that one orange that we can see from the background relatively well. So that shows that it's sort of thematically tied in, but at the same time, it's kind of showing us the same thing twice. But for a haul, I think that's fine. But you might just want to just step up like on the fade a little bit on the background, just so that it still comes through. But by and large, this is pretty good. Smiling happy pictures for the person in the subject, which is great in the foreground. The next thumbnail here from 13 days ago, that's a little tricky. We've got Lockdown DIY haircut. Now, there's a couple things going on with this thumbnail. I think the try on haul is a very strong thumbnail. This thumbnail is not as strong. You've got some good elements here. I think the picture of sister is good. It's nice and crisp, clean, pops against the background. Very good there. Not a complaint on that. The background itself, I mean, you're showing that you've shaved a strip. And I am only seeing this because I'm on desktop. I'm on Firefox at full desktop resolution. If I look carefully, I can see that a strip of the back of the hair has been shaved off. That's a compelling image, and it's being really lost by the fade. And so I would consider doing more to make that a bit more apparent. Drop the fade a little bit, or maybe even makes part of that part of the foreground. Maybe cut out the person if you've got a good shot where you can do that. The font in its sort of waviness, that's problematic for a couple of reasons. One, it's harder to read, and two, this looks like it's a man's haircut. And so when it's sort of wavy, it's evocative of long hair. And so it's almost slightly misrepresenting, because I'm expecting it to be her haircut. When I see that and I see her picture there, it's not until I look very carefully at a high resolution that I'm able to see that it's probably her brother or something that she's shaving the hair of. And so I think you're missing an opportunity by not showing more clearly the shaving. I think the font is not a good fit. Also, the color, you've got a white with the drop shadows okay. But it looks like there's like a very light cyan kind of lavender gradient stroke, which fades into the background a little bit in terms of the fade you've got on that background. So I would say maybe consider that try-on haul thumbnail, the text, the philosophy and strategy and art, honestly, behind that. Maybe try to use that kind of consistently. Like, one thing I also noticed, I'm seeing a third thumbnail down here with some question marks, and the question marks are popping. And so, like, those are good approaches, whereas on this one thumbnail, I think the text is getting lost. Also, you seem to have a picture of presumably the brother who is in a little circle, and that's fine, but it's incredibly fuzzy. It's not crisp, it's low resolution, so I'm not sure that it's adding a lot of value. And honestly, I don't know if it would be misleading to the content or not, but if his face was a shocked face, I hate to say it because I know we've all seen those shocked faces, but I think that if it's about a haircut and it's showing a very dramatic cut right up the back, a shocked face would be kind of like, oh my gosh, like what happened? I got to see that. For that kind of a video could be very effective. Like for the try-on haul, shocked faces would make no sense. Happy faces makes perfect sense. But for this, that's what I would recommend. Now, it looks like you're using a wall shaver. I think it's actually one that I have, ironically. But the shot of it is of the product casing. And so that I didn't really lock onto right away. It took me a little while to figure out what it was. And again, this is at full resolution. I'm able to see that it's a wall trimmer. But that's after like looking at it for a bit on full resolution. We need to make these elements pop and be instantly recognizable. So maybe just having the shaver itself as sort of a transparent PNG with an outline on it, rather than the product with all of its packaging and its small font, might be slightly more effective. You could even put like the corporate logo up there. And something like that possibly. But that's just some thoughts about the thumbnail there. Let's look at some of these titles. Cider Clothing Try-On Haul, fantastic. Tops of Viral Orange Sweater, Jackets, and More. No complaints there. It's a pretty good title. The beginning of the description. Hey sisters, I bought some cider clothing and created this try-on haul video. Only found out about cider recently, and that's pretty good. I don't have a lot of criticism. I'm guessing the Hey Sisters is like the consistent opening. I'm seeing it at the beginning of the descriptions and at the channel description. And so I think that's fine. I think that that's also one way that in the algorithm, with that consistency, it's easy for the algorithm to see consistency across videos. And so that might improve your chances of your videos appearing in the recommended panel when people are watching your videos, keeping people on your channel. So that's pretty effective. I noticed that you're filming in 4K, which is fantastic. That's helpful as well. Let's see. Oh, it's a husband, not a brother. Okay, it's just because the sister, like, it's called Sister Tries It. That's why I thought it was the brother. Okay, it's the husband's hair. My bad. There's a Canadian apology for you. And so it says, "Hey sisters, I'm going to be cutting my husband's hair." So with that, I'm going to be, makes it sound like I'm not going to see the haircut in the video. It sounds like you're talking about your plans that haven't happened yet. And so I would put it in sort of the present past tense. I cut my husband's hair. We're currently in COVID lockdown. And again, currently is one of those words that doesn't age well. This is a 13-day-old video. So, you know, in a year, will that really make as much sense phrased that way? And again, I don't think currently in COVID lockdown it's going to have really good SEO value necessarily. I don't know. You can check that with TubeBuddy. But what I would say is, "Hey sisters, I cut my husband's hair during COVID lockdown. And you'll never believe what happened." Or, I mean, that's kind of a tease, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Or you could just pivot immediately to something more that could intrigue or entice. But that's just something that I think could be done, is writing in the current or past tense. Because, for example, like on my travel channel, sometimes when I book a particular cruise, especially if it's like an exciting one, like the first sailing of a ship, I might actually put out a video where I talk about, "Hey, we've booked this thing. This is what's going to be awesome about it. We're talking about it." And so I try to be very clear that this is not the video where you will see that ship that we're on. We are telling you that the ship is coming and we're going to be on its first sailing and things like that. And so it's kind of a hype video. It serves a couple of purposes when I do that, partly because like I get in the SEO game for the name of that ship really early, and so it starts driving traffic to the channel, and so it's just a little insider thing that I do. But I don't think that would make sense here, and I don't think that's what this video is. I think this video is the haircut itself, and so the future tense doesn't quite jive. So let's see here. Common video tags. Anna tries it. Hey sisters, beauty tips, fashion haul, fashion reaction. Sister, let's try it. TLC, that's interesting. Reddit. It's interesting that TLC and Reddit come up as tags. That's weird. So is that like the learning channel or Tender Loving Care? And Reddit, that's interesting. I'm curious what you might be doing with your tags that would trigger those two, but the others all look really solid. So let's dive into the channel and take a look around. Some first impressions. So one thing that I notice is there is no channel trailer. And so I strongly recommend that you have a channel trailer. At the very least, while you're getting your channel trailer put together, maybe find one of your shorter videos that you can have sit in as a channel trailer to serve that purpose. So some of your videos, you know, they're a little bit on the longer side, which is good for watch time and stuff like that. We've got a 4-minute 45-second video. Here's the shortest I'm seeing on this screen. Let me just hop over to videos and see if we've got something that's kind of okay. 3:23 over here. I think that's the one. So what I would do immediately upon watching this video is go to your channel and set probably this one over here, post-lockdown hair revival, to be your channel trailer. And this has a few benefits. For one thing, when someone lands on your homepage, it automatically plays. Now, I am not a fan myself of auto-playing video. I hate auto-playing ads. I have it shut off on my apps, on Facebook and Twitter. When I'm on the apps, I don't have videos autoplay because it's irritating. And also sound could kick out at an inopportune moment, church, at work, at the airport, whatever. You don't want that happening. But that having been said, I think an auto-playing channel trailer is just part of the accepted culture of YouTube. So I don't think that it would be annoying anyone. It would be quite normal. It's what I was expecting and I didn't see it. So it felt like something was missing from my experience. So I strongly recommend that you do that for now. And then you begin thinking about creating a proper channel trailer. And a channel trailer serves a lot of different purposes. I think that a big part of it is so that you can convey what your channel is about, because Sister Tries It. I mean, are you going to be like, is this going to be like a reality show where you're eating bugs? I'm hoping not. Are you trying makeup? Are you trying clothes? Are you trying bungee jumping? Are you trying extreme sports, skiing? What is it? So what exactly are you trying? You can convey that very quickly and in an appealing way in your channel trailer. And so the philosophy and the approach that I recommend people have for channel trailer is have it be between like 30 and 90 seconds. And if you're looking for inspiration, feel free to check out Vacation Impossible. Our channel trailer is kind of what I'm I'm talking about. Let that inspire you if that's helpful for you. But what you want to do is have sort of a sizzle reel of your best, most interesting, funny moments, something like that. And so just sit down, and it's like a mental exercise. Have a piece of paper, notepad open or something, and just be like, okay, what are like the 6 funniest, coolest, most interesting things that ever happened on my channel? Like that crazy time that, this happened. Maybe a dog jumped out at us, or I don't know, I dropped something, it was very funny, or whatever it might be. And so then you can just splice those together in a little sizzle reel. And for the audio, you've got a couple of different options. You could just use the original audio if that works, or you could do a voiceover, or you could put it to music, or you could do a combination. You could do a voiceover with music and even some of the original sound still there, or whatever works. If you're looking for music, I recommend trying out Epidemic Sound. There'll be a link in the description where you can try it free for a month. And the cool thing is that everything you upload during your free month, you own those videos forever. So having your channel trailer come out during that free month is a big win. It's a really effective way of making maximum use of that free month. And the subscription after that, it works out to be like $12 a month or something. So it's actually a fairly reasonable thing. They've got lots of music and sound effects. But if you don't have music, that can be a great option. And just generally speaking, it can help with audience retention on your regular videos. If you've got a 10, 11, 21 minute long video, having some music keeps it engaging for the ears. I think we've all heard about how jump cuts and cutaways and B-roll and graphics and having props and things all helps keep the people visually engaged, but there's also the audio component where you want to keep audio engaging as well. And so for channel trailer, this is a commercial, it's snap, snap, snap. You watch a commercial for the latest Marvel movie, and it's just a really quick cut collection of scenes. And the reason that they do it that way is it's effective. It makes people wonder more. What happened after they cut away? What was that? Who was that person there? Oh my God, was that Professor Xavier? I need to know. So those sorts of things can be all good to consider while having a channel trailer. And so I think that would be good. It would kind of get you basically free views when anyone lands on your channel, but it also gives you an opportunity to explain what you're all about. And so if you do the voiceover route that I'm talking about, I think having a clear why am I doing this, can help as well, because then people can potentially form a quick association with, okay, they're doing this because, they want to inspire people to try things and get outside their comfort zone and have new, amazing, eye-opening experiences that betters their lives. That's a great message. And hey, if that resonates with you, feel free to use it. I give you permission to use all of the ideas. You can even use the things I say verbatim, if you want, if you choose. But also one caveat, when I do these reviews, I'm not going to come and check you in 6 months to make sure you did it all. So feel free to pick and choose which of the pieces of advice I offer you want to follow. I am not going to be, expecting that you do it all. Just in case that was a concern. I don't believe that's a constructive way of providing criticism and feedback. So let's see here. Looking at the banner, so we've got a bit of a color scheme I'm just now picking up on. So the fades in the background, they're often kind of this pink that is appearing in the banner. And so that's kind of cool. I'm just picking up on it now. That's fine. And so for the banner, the font on Sister Tries It looks pretty good. I feel like it could be popping just a little bit better. I think that if it wasn't actually overlapping so much with the picture of Sister, if it was just a little bit more off to the side, a little bit higher up, and just a little bit more contrast maybe on that drop shadow. Because I think the font and the drop shadow is pretty good, but there's 2 layers of drop shadow. I'm talking about the nearer one, the darker one. Maybe even darkening that up a little bit more so it pops just a bit more. And so the picture of Sister there looks pretty good. Again, it feels kind of low on desktop. So if it isn't like a cutoff image right there, I would consider bringing it up a little bit. And so in the background, you've got these sort of, it's almost like 70s style, kind of Jetsons era almost things, where you would go to a diner from that era and you would see that on the countertop. There's a local diner here in Vancouver that kind of has that vibe. I don't know if that fits in with the vibe of the channel. From what I'm seeing, things like Aritzia, Hello Kitty, I'm not seeing that vintage vibe as much. And so it's a heart, it's kind of a diamond, a star, some dots, a degree symbol. What I would suggest is, and I don't think that it's a bad element that you've got going on there. I'm just thinking it might be a missed opportunity. I think that if it was like, you know, if we're doing clothes, if there's a shirt, if there's a skirt, if there's pants, if there's a dress, some like that kind of almost like an icon emoji type thing in the background, and keep the white on the pink. I think that's good. But if that was the shape, if, you know, lipstick, compact, if you're doing makeup stuff and it looks like you do, you know, maybe scissors because we have the haircut. And so if you have just little, I mean, even if you just go and like use some wingdings, you know, the Windows font, you might be able to find a lot of the things that I'm kind of talking about that might align with it more. Because the hearts could send a mixed signal. It could be like things that sister loves. And so like I do know that there are like lifestyle and other kinds of channels out there, and obviously I don't like lifestyle because it doesn't tell you anything, but there's a lot of channels out there where they'll do like, oh, the things I love in March or whatever. I don't get the appeal of that, and I don't think that's what you're doing, and I am not suggesting you head in that direction. I think you're doing better than that. And so when I see the hearts, though, it makes me think of either that kind of thing, here's the products I love, or relationship advice. Because of hearts, love, that association we make. I'm filming this on Valentine's Day, so, you know. And so that's top of mind. But I think that would then, by replacing those elements, it would more clearly capture the vibe of the channel, but also convey more accurately what the channel itself is about. And so I think that's pretty good. You got some social links here. Let's check these out. Got Facebook group here. So you've got a Facebook group. That's kind of cool. That's a good idea. I like this. This is pretty good. Again, Sister Tries It could pop a bit more, but we've clearly got some cosmetics in the background. Again, I'm worried that the fade might be a little too much, that people won't really see that if they're not looking at it the way I am, which is like intently on desktop for a period of time. But this is kind of cool. Need a space before that open parentheses, and you're sharing the videos here in this group. That's kind of cool. Having a Facebook group, it can be very effective. I mean, you know, I run a multitude of Facebook groups. You know, I've got one with 75,000 people, another one with 40,000 people, another one with 350,000 people. So I see the value in Facebook groups, so that can be very good. Let's take a look at your Instagram here. Sister Tries It. Beauty, cosmetics, and personal care. Hey, sister girl. Anna. Linktree for products. You see, this Linktree here, that's not a clickable link. New YouTube video is up. So there's a few things here. I would probably remove the Linktree thing because it doesn't work. And so you're relying on people to like copy and paste it. On desktop, I can highlight it like this and I can copy or whatever. But most people don't access Instagram on desktop. They mostly use their phones, and so they'd have to long press it, get those characters, copy, paste. I don't think people are going to do it, to be honest with you. And so I think that space could be better used with something else. New YouTube video is up. I mean, I kind of get what you're doing there. You're going to consistently have new YouTube videos up, so you're linking to the channel. But I think that I don't think that's super effective. Instead of saying new YouTube video is up, maybe just check out the fun on YouTube, something like that maybe. And then the link you've got here, I believe if you remove the C, it will still work. Okay, let me see if I can capture this. So I'm going to go up here, and I'm just going to put in youtube.com/sistertries it without the C, and it should work. Yes, it does. Okay, so for your Instagram, for that link, just take out the C /, and then it'll look cleaner, a little bit more professional, and I think that'll look better. So you've got some highlights here for YouTube, food, happy. This is good. I think you could expand upon this. I think you could make a couple more. And for that, you might want to have something like, fashion, try-on haul, something like that. It's very popular thing on Instagram to have, fashion stuff. I mean, it's a big part of what Instagram is about. And so I think not having a clothing fashion related highlight is a missed opportunity there. I think these pictures are really good. So I think that's great. That's pretty funny. I think this is pretty good. Got some behind the scenes stuff, and this is great. One thing that I've noticed a lot of sort of on the more professional side of Instagrammers, what they often do is they will have these icons you can have for your highlights. And as you see, I've done here, I've used the Small YouTubers Boost arrow as a background, and then I put logos or words on top of it so that it's a consistent, really professional look. And so I'm thinking that's something that you could do very effectively. Don't worry about that picture of me in the hospital. I'm all better now. But yeah, and so also again, like that pink aesthetic that you've got, and so if you wanted to take some time and design these covers for your highlights, that can make your Instagram look really professional. And when it comes to fashion, Instagram is a huge growth opportunity, and so not all genres align themselves with all social media platforms. But sometimes they align very well, and I think that what you're doing would align very, very well on Instagram. And so if at some point in the future you're considering running ads, Instagram might be an effective place to do that, to grow your audience as well. But I think, yeah, having a little bit of a sort of professional covers on the highlights, because that when people see it, they're like, okay, that is curated, so I'm not going to be wasting my time here. They took a lot of time and effort, and so they feel respected. When brands come there, they see that it's a professional look, and they think, okay, this is someone who can represent a brand and understand branding very well. And so if you're at all interested in getting, samples or having affiliate deals with various, Fashion Nova or whoever, then that might be an opportunity there. So that's pretty good. Let's take a look at your Twitter. I know I'm supposed to be reviewing your channel, but I know you know a lot of channel stuff because you're a fan of this channel. So I'm taking a look at your social media stuff here. Yeah, like here, you've got the youtube.com/sistertries it. So just take out the C on Instagram so that that's, consistent. Social media influencer joined February 2022. Okay, so it's a little tricky calling yourself an influencer when you've been on the platform for like 2 weeks, but that's okay. It's kind of future-proofed. As time passes, that will seem more legit, so that's fine. And so Anna here, check me out on YouTube for first impressions, reviews, try-on hauls, and more. Let's try it. So yeah, that's okay, but you're almost like, you're saying your name, which I don't know that people will care right away. They want to know what you're about before they care about your name. And then you're immediately saying, check me out on YouTube for first impressions, review, try-on hauls. If you had something more about what you're about first, I'm all about trying new things, expressing yourself through fashion, and, being comfortable in your own skin, whatever it might be. Something like that right at the start. Then talk about, check out our YouTube for, pivot to that, I think would be good. I think that would be a slightly better bio, but by and large, this seems pretty good. What kind of media you got up here? It's just the shares. So one thing that I talk about, I have a video on this channel, which is basically a Twitter profile audit. And so there's certain things you can do to make your profile seem fuller and complete. I realize that, you got 12 followers, like 3 tweets. This is very new. But one thing I recommend doing, especially since you've done this well on Instagram, is posting some pictures natively in Twitter so that those will show up on your profile. There's a little thing in the top right corner that would show pictures that had been like the last 6 that had been recently shared. And so I think that posting some pictures natively in Twitter would help round that out. If somebody clicked on media, then they would be here. That would be pretty good. Oh, I see you're following 12. You don't yet have any followers. Well, let's see what we can do about that. I am happy to be, as Small YouTubers Boost, your first follower. You saw it here first, folks. So, yeah, there you go. You got a follower now. So enjoy. The first of potentially a lot, I think. And so you're doing some good things here. You are sharing your videos and you're sharing it with at least one hashtag, which is pretty good. So I think you're off to a good start there. I think that you can use TubeBuddy in the browser plugin, Videolytics. You can go look at other videos that are doing well in your niche and see how those are shared on Twitter. In particular, what hashtags they use when they share. And then you might want to consider, okay, you're starting off with one hashtag every video. Good start. See if you can push it to 3 every time you share it. Can you think of 3 hashtags? Maybe, that little change consistently applied can help you find some growth. So see, let's take a look. Oh, wait, hold on. There's one other thing here. Is this a website? You've got your own website. Wow, you're coming out of the gate strong, that's for sure, for a relatively young channel and effort. So I do appreciate that. Wow, this is awesome. Okay, there's your link tree. That loading was fantastic. That image is great. The text here, not super readable, but still pretty good. Facebook group, Instagram, you're on TikTok as well. That's cool. You might want to consider adding your TikTok link to, actually, maybe you have it in the About page and it just hasn't made it on top here. You should probably add your TikTok down here. TikTok's pretty big. So that's good. Just looking here at your About, follow me on IG at Sister Tries It. Again, it's down here and it's up here. It's clickable. I'm not sure that this is kind of redundant. So I'm not sure that you could just say, check out our Instagram for amazing pictures, but without actually mentioning the username, partly because the username matches with your channel name. So I don't think you need to say it explicitly, and you've got the link here and you got the link down there. So I think that's pretty good. I'm currently a dental hygienist. Okay, that's interesting. But after making sure everyone I see leaves with a sparkling smile, I set out to have one of my own. I like that. That's great. I was originally going to say dental hygienist, kind of pivots away from the channel, but the way that you've incorporated it here, no, I think it actually suits things well. It's interesting that it says, I'm currently a dental hygienist. Is that not your career? It implies to me that you have a plan. And then I don't know what the plan is. I'm currently this, but I want to be, is implied to me. And so if you do have a goal or something that you're striving towards, I mean, if it's full-time influencer, yeah, you might not want to say that explicitly here. You might just want to drop the currently. But if it's, but I'm hoping to create an amazing community one day. That sounds great. Saying I want to be an influencer says I want my bag is often how it's heard. And so that word can sometimes be, a little dicey, can be a landmine. Nothing makes me smile more than trying out a fresh haul of clothes, putting on fabulous eyelashes, and learning a new skill. I love it. And you're following the rule of 3. That's fantastic there. Taking that to an extra step beyond that, you can talk about how these sorts of things can have a positive impact on mental health, confidence, career, love life, whatever, if that's something that you believe or whatever, obviously, in your own words and sincerely as much as possible. But because I think you're touching on, okay, nothing makes me smile more. That's great. The smile theme, I think, is fantastic. But I think we can just take it a little deeper, just a little bit, take it to the next step, because it's like smiling is great. What is smiling a sign of? It's a sign of physical, mental, emotional health, and it makes you attractive to other people. It makes you approachable. It has these different benefits, and so you could have like a paragraph here, a different paragraph that I think might touch on that if it's something you care about. Join me as I look for fabulous pieces, try trendy beauty hacks, and learn something new from friends and family. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, let's go back to the channel here. It's interesting, it joined in July of 2021, but then I guess I'm guessing it's recently. Let's see, what's your oldest video? This oldest video is 6 months. Okay. Yeah, that aligns. So, some of the stuff is somewhat newer, like the Twitter and stuff, but other stuff has been around for a while longer. That's good. All right. Shin, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Try on haul, those are very popular. This is pretty good. That thumbnail. Again, I think maybe moving try on haul down a little bit, like around the knees of the pants there, maybe, just so we can see a little bit more. And making Shin just like the kerning. I don't know if it's their logo or not, but if you can reduce the space between the letters a little bit, then we can see a little bit more of her face, a little bit more sort of the arm of the outfit where she's looking down. Korean masks, presumably Korean face masks. That's fine. The dresses here. Yeah, I think it would be better if it was a bunch of shots of her in the dress rather than a bunch of the dresses there without her in it, and then one at the end, and the one at the end might technically be a dress, but it looks like it's a long tee, and so I think if it was her in the dresses repeated, I think that would look better. The lip stain thumbnail, that's pretty fantastic. Again, I'm worried that the fade on the background's a little too much, that they don't see the product that well, so I think that could be made a little bit more clear. But this, this really looks good. Actually, let's see. What are the most popular? I bet you the try-on hauls are doing well. No, it's like, okay, it's not. It's actually sort of more the product reviews. Interesting. Okay, well, that's good to know. All right, let's go back to the home page here. So we've got uploads, popular uploads, try-on hauls. Okay, looks like you have a different channel for your dog. Okay, interesting. I'm tempted to dive into that, but that's not the channel I'm here to review. So I'll leave that. Let's check out your playlists. Trying and learning something new. I like that. Occasional vlog. Yeah, that can work. It can trip up the algorithm a little bit because you're talking about products, beauty, and then all of a sudden it's like, here's us playing in the snow with our dog, presumably. But at the same time, from an audience enjoyment factor, that can really personalize things. So I think that's a good mix. I like that idea of keeping it fresh that way. So you've got I Love Cosmetics, first impressions and reviews. Okay, so I'm thinking I Love Cosmetics. That's pretty good. It's the thing I'm thinking here is that SEO, right? What are people searching for? I don't think people are searching for I Love Cosmetics necessarily. The love of cosmetics, for the love of cosmetics, lovely I'm not sure. But whenever possible, when we can have titles that match like straight up search terms that people are likely to have, or if we can trend in that direction, that could be pretty good. So like, yeah, occasional vlog. I mean, I hate to say it, lifestyle vlog might be a little better. I don't know. Because that might be more likely. I don't think anyone's searching occasional vlog, right? People are definitely searching try on hauls though. So that's good. Yeah, let's see here. So I would definitely add, because I think cosmetics is one of the key pillars of your channel. I'm thinking try on, cosmetics, you know, those are two key pillars, and you've got enough videos because it was 7. So you've got enough that you can add it now. So I would put it under try on hauls. Yeah, this is okay. This is pretty good. And so I see some captioning intermittently, which I can appreciate. Because captioning is a lot of work. If you go to my channels, you'll see intermittent captioning. Once a video hits like 10 minutes, captioning it is just such a chore. So I definitely feel you there, but I'm thinking if you went through the work of captioning a 9 and a 7-minute video, going and captioning that 5-minute video for the purse, the Marc Jacobs, I think that might be worth doing. I've noticed that captioning over the last few years has become more important, not less. The auto captions, happen more. So like things get auto captioned fairly quickly and fairly consistency, well, with greater consistency than they did a few years ago. Years ago, some of my videos didn't get auto captioned. I was trying to figure out what the trigger was. But when you go in and you edit those captions to make sure that it's correct, that can help you in a few different ways. For one thing, in my experience, I used to say that it was like 8 to 11% I would get views more with captioning. In some of my videos, that's getting up into like the 28%. When I caption something, I'm getting like nearly a fifth more views. And so that's interesting. And so part of it is that captions can relatively easily be translated. So people with other languages could potentially be watching more easily. Also, people who are hard of hearing, or people who are in a situation where they don't have earbuds, but it would be rude to have sound playing on their phone, like when you're waiting in a doctor's office or at the airport or what have you. And so those are all important things, but there's an SEO component of it that's very important as well. So, you say Marc Jacobs, but what if they think that that's a proper name and in the captions it's Marc with a K? And so it's not fully linking to that search term Marc Jacobs, the brand name with the C. And so if you go in and you just make that one little correction from the K to the C, then you could be actually very drastically improving your SEO, because then the captions match the title, match the description, matches the tags, hopefully, and even some of the comments. That's when you start to get keyword alignment, and the confidence that the algorithm has that your video is about that is boosted. And since we're all about the boost, that would be helpful. And so it's something to consider. I know it's a lot of work, but that on those videos that are on the shorter side, less than 10 minutes, it's something worth considering. And in my experience, I'm not always able to film. I'm not always able to be on my desktop and making great thumbnails, but I could be on a tablet lying in bed with a little keyboard or whatever, and I can still do some captioning. So when you find yourselves in different situations and you think, oh, I wish there was something I could do to improve my channel right now, that, if you got a keyboard and you can listen to sound, then that might be something you can do. So one thing also that I think is interesting, diving into the subject of playlists. Let's take a look at this Try on Hauls playlist. So let's see here. I load up my cart with clothes, accessories, jewelry, and so on. Haul the box home to try on for you. Featuring many products from Shein, Winners, Marshalls, and more. That's great. You know what? Maybe you want to consider adding cider to that now that you've got cider. And again, you can add. I would suggest just do a couple more paragraphs that you just be stream of consciousness. Just don't worry about it. Just sit down and just type it out without thinking. Be like, there's nothing like a new outfit to make you feel like a new woman, and it can, and since we were a kid, we've always enjoyed trying on clothes. So I am happy to show you how things fit and recommend, things, discount. I don't know if you have discount codes, but you could, how to get a good deal, whatever. But you could just talk about the experience, about why you do it, why you like it, and what you do. And so you'll just hit more of those keywords as you bulk up, sort of that. So having like maybe 3 paragraphs, take that description and make something like 3 times larger. That can help. One of the things with also video descriptions, I mean, if you can make part of your video description seem as much like a blog as possible, that can really help with SEO. It's a lot of work. It's not necessarily the most fun thing in the world, but that's how a lot of channels have found success. A lot of channels, there are channels out there that started out as blogs, and then they just started attaching their blogs to videos, basically. So that is something to consider. So what the impression I was getting on this playlist is how it's organized. And I think how a playlist is organized can be relevant. And so it looks like you have the newest thing first. Which maybe with fast fashion might be a good idea, but I would also suggest you consider there's an option when you edit your playlist where you can auto sort it so that the most popular thing in the playlist comes first. If your playlist isn't telling a story and it isn't necessarily super timely about it has to be about fast fashion or whatever, then maybe having the most popular stuff up first might be a good idea because those thumbnails probably have the higher CTR or the titles are more engaging or whatever it is. And so by having that face first on your channel, they might be a little bit more likely to click on it that way. So I think that's something to consider with playlists. You got your popular uploads here, which is good. And so you're at 120 subscribers, so you have your custom URL, and it looks like you're using it very effectively. So that's fantastic. So once you hit 500 subscribers, that's when you get the community tab. So that's something that you can look forward to. Let's take a look at the Channelytics here to see what kind of tags you're using for your channel. This is a TubeBuddy function. This function is on the free version. Sister tries it. Anna tries it. You see, the thing is, your sister's name is obviously Anna, but I'm wondering, and you can do your own keyword research on this and see what search terms are driving people to your channel and see how those search terms. So you go in your traffic sources, YouTube search, look at those terms, and consider putting some of those terms in your channel keywords as well. And I would be willing to bet that Anna Tries It is probably not having a high search volume. I mean, we can check that out actually. Let's just do that now. Keyword Explorer. I'm going to guess it has a low search volume and maybe a low competition. I'm just going to go unweighted because okay, it says very good. Wow, the search volume is a lot higher than I expected. All right, well, color me corrected. Fair enough. Okie doke. Try on hauls, dress try on hauls, collab try on haul. I gotta wonder about that. Are people searching that? And this is the kind of keyword research that can really help. So like when excellent, okie doke. Search volume is very good. Competition, okay. This is definitely not my niche, not my genre. But this kind of research, you saw how I was able to search those keywords. It's just a second. So when you've got like a new video coming out and you're trying to figure out the best title even for a video that maybe you've already filmed. One thing that I'll often do is I'll open up Notepad and I will just try to search like 20 different titles, that variations on the title. And I will try to see the score weighted for my channel. And then the one that has the highest score, that's my title for the video. That can be something worth doing. And so, for example, Toronto Snow Day, or should it be Snow Day in Toronto? Which one of those two has a higher score? Because from the audience perspective, they're not that different, but in terms of what people are searching and how much competition there is, it could be a huge difference. And so what I do is I'll have that notepad thing, I'll search up the 20 or whatever, but then when I'm uploading the video and I'm putting in the tags, I'll, look at the TubeBuddy suggestions, those are sometimes helpful, but I've got that right there. And so my alternate titles, if I can work those into the description and put them in as tags, can work. So that's good. Affordable fashion, affordable cosmetics, trying new skills, learning new skills, fashion unboxing, purse review. So this is pretty good. Yeah, and I think you've got some character room here. So if we're talking, you're doing Aritzia and, cider and these other things, you might even consider putting some of those brands in there. Longer tail keywords for smaller channels is generally the way to go, because then you'll have a little less competition. And then as the channel grows, you can start to get a little bit more competitive about how you target keywords. Let's find a video here. Let's try this one. Let's see what you've got going on. You've got some chapters, which is great. You got the 3 hashtags, which is fantastic. There we go. And I like how, have you noticed how chapters are showing this way now? Isn't this awesome? And one of the reasons why this is particularly awesome is some search engines will show it like this as well. And so huge advantage. Get a little thumbs up there. Huge advantage in some search results on search engines off platform there. So that's pretty cool. Let's see here. A new website, again, new. That kind of has a shelf life. 2 exclamation points. 1 is probably sufficient. The question mark on that TikTok link, I'm not sure that needs to be there. Maybe try it with and without. But this has got some good things going on, but it also has some opportunities. So, for example, hey sisters, I'm back with my sister-in-law. My sister-in-law returns for part 2. Okay, here we go. This is part 2 of your try-on haul. You don't have a link to part 1. So what I would recommend is go to your part 1, click on the share button, copy this shortened URL. So it's the shorter one, a little less intimidating. It doesn't get cut off. Copy that. And then before your chapters, go in here and say, check out part 1 of our Shan try-on haul, and then the link. That way, if people are like, oh, I want to see part 1, they can access it in the description. Now, in theory, hopefully you'll also have it in the info card. TubeBuddy says you don't have info cards, but TubeBuddy's been kind of unreliable on that lately, so maybe you do. But it should, be in the info card. Let's see what kind of, you got a thanks for watching here. So, okay, there's the end screen elements. I just wanted that to load. So I'm not sure exactly what settings you have here. I know that people can have recommended for viewer, latest upload, things like that. For one thing, I think your end screen is very nice, and you've got the subscribe thing perfectly placed, and that image, all that's fantastic. But what I would recommend is make one of these part 1. So that if someone gets to the end of it and they're like, wow, that was great, I want to watch more like that. And then they see it and they're like, right, this was part 2. I can go watch part 1. Awesome. I think that would be an effective thing to do. And also, check out our new tops and bottoms as we prepare ourselves for fall fashion. So that's great. But I think that in terms of text in the description, that's pretty I don't want to say shallow because that has the wrong connotation, but it's short is what it is. I would say that this description here is about half as long as what you would need as a minimum. And so remember what I was saying, those make it like a blog post if possible. That might be a bit much, but at the very least try to go for 3 lines minimum of actual text talking about it. So and down here, which is great about the chapters you've got, is these are all great keywords that you've got in here. But you could talk about what your favorite one was, something like that. What are they for? Are these it's for the fall autumn season. That's great. But are we talking hitting the nightclub, wearing to work, to school? Kind of what's the purpose? And so it could be the check out our try on haul for, the fall semester or whatever, if it's for school or if it's for work, or that's one thing that you can kind of expand upon, and then hopefully work those keywords into those sentences organically. So you could say something like, I don't know. The drop shoulder tartan blouse is perfect for, church and Sunday dinner and date night. I don't know, something like that. That I think could be good. So you've got some comments here, and it looks like you've replied to one, but you haven't pinned. And this is one of those things where, like, TubeBuddy is so useful because it reminds you to do these things. So, and comments haven't been hearted. And so when you're logged in here, there's an option to click heart. When you do that, it is helpful because you get a micro boost in the algorithm, but also the person who made the comment gets notified that you did that. That could bring them back to the video potentially, or at least make them know that you're engaging with the comments and the audience and you care and appreciate the fact that they took time to comment. And that could really mean something to them. And so it also reminds them that you exist, which is not a bad thing. In the YouTube algorithm, a key thing that it looks at is what were the last 100 videos the person watched. So they could be subscribed to you. They could have notifications on, maybe not set to all, and they maybe commented on some of your videos. But if they went on then a binge and watched 100 college humor videos or epic rap battle or something else, they went down the rabbit hole on some other channel, and none of your videos are in the last 100 videos they've watched, that can kind of edge you out. And so things like pinning a comment or hearting a comment is a way of potentially driving them back to the channel and reminding them about you. For example, I have clearly been watching some People's Court lately, and that's why my recommendations on the side has nothing to do with your channel. It has to do with the last 100 or so videos that I've watched, and yesterday I felt like watching some People's Court. So there you have it. And so you've got your tags here, which is good. Your SEO score is solid, and you're getting some likes on Facebook, which, given that you have a Facebook group with a decent number of members, that makes sense. The ranking of tags is not as useful as it once was because now it's all about for a specific person. And, I don't watch a lot of these kinds of videos, so it's not going to rank well for me. It has nothing to do with the tags themselves and their relative value. I would say, hey, sisters. I don't know if that's a great tag. Sisters, well, I mean, yeah, you filmed this with your sister, so sister-in-law, so that's fair enough. But let's take a look at Reddit. So this hasn't been shared on Reddit. So one thing that I should mention, a Small YouTubers Boost does have a subreddit where you can practice. And I recommend doing that because Reddit can be a scary and intimidating place. However, we've created a subreddit that's like a sandbox. It's a safe place where you can practice sharing your content. You won't get in trouble. You won't get banned. You won't get nasty messages. If you don't follow our rules, we might remove the post, but it's not the end of the world. And so you can go in, maybe get a little karma, get a little experience, see how it looks. So if I share it this way versus that way, when does the thumbnail display? How do people react? How does upvoting work? Play in the sandbox and then go out and try to find friendly subreddits. And so the way that I recommend doing that is searching other videos in your genre that do well with Videolytics here, the TubeBuddy browser plugin installed, and go see in what subreddits those were shared. When you see that number is not 0, it's been shared on Reddit and people liked it being shared there. They got upvotes. So then you click on that like I did, and then you're like, oh, that's subreddit. Subreddits are crazy. There's like these niche communities and they're kind of hiding. And so this is a good way to find those niche communities that might engage effectively with your content very well. And so I think that can be a huge opportunity. Again, like if we're talking about like, if it's closed for school or closed for church or something like that, I would not at all be surprised if there weren't subreddits that were about that. And there's probably a Shin, subreddit where people, share their stuff. So that is probably, worth looking into and could be a potential growth opportunity. So one other thing to think about, I noticed that you've got your link to your website, Instagram, TikTok, and on the channel itself, you have the social icons here and in the About page, of course, because that's what drives those. But like the TikTok's not here, but the website is. And so one thing I think is worth considering is after YouTube, because I imagine YouTube's your first priority, what is your second priority? If your primary following is on YouTube, where do you want your second largest following to be? And in some cases, you might want to consider, like, where do I make my money? Am I getting affiliate link clicks in my Facebook group? Then, okay, Facebook group maybe is the thing that you want to promote the most. And so that's just something to be conscious about and have a strategy. Maybe you start picking up some traction on Instagram and you want to accelerate and snowball that growth. So maybe you want to highlight Instagram, whatever that might be. And so then consider putting that link first, both here and of course here, because this drives that, but also the links that you put in your video description, prioritizing in a similar way. I don't know if the products you're talking about are things that might be available on Amazon, it's a nice entrance. I like that. But, oh, there we go. No, you have that. Okay. Here's an affiliate link. Cool. There you go. Perfect. If you really want to purchase this, don't use an affiliate link. I like that. And you know what? I think that's actually fantastic because it shows that you're being honest. And getting back to that issue of the channel trailer, I think if you've got a clip of yourself being like, don't buy this, put that in your channel trailer. That will score you important credibility points with the potential audience because they know that you're going to tell them the truth. You're not just going to be trying to sell them stuff all the time. There are plenty of influencers who do that. But people like you and I are honest. And that has incredible competitive advantage value in the marketplace of ideas. So I have a video where I was reviewing a lav mic that crapped the bed. It face planted hard. It sucked. It did not work. And I was honest about it. And I did a test and I showed you how it didn't work. And I said, for the love of God, don't buy this. But if you want to see the product, here's a link. And so I see you're doing something very similar. And so I think that is an important thing because that is a value that people have that they can associate with you, that they can feel that value. And the thing is that like, how can we do better than huge channels? And how can we be competitive in this giant marketplace of ideas? And part of it is our integrity. Because, and I'm not saying these large people don't, like these large channels don't have integrity, but if they have so many brand deals and every video is sponsored and every product they open is amazing, then, you know, because they probably get so many offers and they maybe only pick the products that are great, and that's fine. But from the audience, they're kind of like, well, if everything's amazing, is this really like an evaluation? Is this fair? Is it, you know, is it thoughtful? Is it honest? Or are they just getting their bag? And I mean, respect people who, you know, get their paydays and stuff, but not at the cost of your integrity. And so from what I'm seeing here is you have that integrity. And so that is a competitive advantage. And so I think, like here, I tried this seriously. It is a messy product. You know what I recommend here is go on a rant in the description. Just list out all the problems. Talk about what's wrong with it, how it could be better. Talk about the things that are kind of good, and you know, but like that's another thing here where you can really bulk up the description, but with honesty. And so when people see that, they're like, "Wow, she's like savaging this product," and that could like, but that's not a bad thing because, for one thing, if you do it with a sense of humor and grace, it can be fun to read. Like sometimes I like the moderators in the small YouTubers Facebook group kind of like it when sometimes I get sassy with people because it's like they will suggest something that's like against, you know, YouTube's fake engagement policy or something. And I will try to use scathing critique, but a sense of humor to tell them why that's a bad idea. And so people are like, oh, I love watching when Ray gets sassy with people and stuff like that. And other people kind of enjoy it too. So you don't want to go too far because that can almost sometimes feel like you're encouraging your community to be bullies. So that's something to keep in mind. And I mean, from everything I'm seeing here, I don't think that you're the kind of person who would want that. Absolutely. And you're not a bully yourself, I don't think. The impression I'm getting here, though, however, is that you're honest, and being brutally honest is a huge advantage. So I would just like, yeah, go on basically a text rant in the description and then go share that in places and be like, I am trying to tell people not to buy this. This is like, and I think that will get you credibility. Because people like content and entertainment and all that stuff on the internet, but another thing that they're really looking for is curation. They want to know that they're not wasting their time. And so there are, you know, compilations and, you know, all sort and playlists and different things out there where some people are being very successful, not actually creating much themselves, but curating what already exists. Because, and it find, you know, whatever we think about people who do that, the fact is that stuff finds success because people crave that curation. They want to not have their time wasted. They want to only see the best, you know, all that kind of stuff. And ironically, by showing them the worst and being honest about it, then they can see you as a valued curator. And so you could even have a playlist of things not to buy. You get product fails, you know. The worst, you know, fashion mistakes I've encountered, whatever. Cosmetics that just don't work. Something like that. A phrase that you might want to consider, possibly even for your channel, honest review. I do hotel reviews, and I keep it honest to tell the truth. I show the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. And so sometimes some of the tags that I use and some of the words in some of my thumbnails that can be very effective is honest review. And so, particularly with smaller channels, I think like what's an advantage of a smaller channel is that we are perceived as not having gone corporate and sold out. And so sometimes people will actually go out and look for the videos with not a whole lot of views or the channels without tons of subscribers when they want to know, is a product counterfeit or defective or not, because those people aren't being paid to express their opinion. And so I think that that could be something that could really be a competitive advantage. And I mean, it ties into the core of your channel. You're trying it, the whole, we try it so you don't have to sort of thing. And then if you're honest about it, complimentary when it's appropriate and critical, when it isn't. I think that's, yeah, I think this video over here has lots of pictures that should end up on Instagram and Twitter because I think that's awesome. I think it's cute. It's funny. It's only got 38 views. And so if you natively upload a screenshot from that to Twitter with a link to the video as well, then you've got the media that's native and the link that's external. Pretty good combination. Just one thought that I had when I was glancing at that thumbnail there. But I think this channel has tons of potential. You've got a really consistent aesthetic with your thumbnails. Like here, the odd one out is Halloween, and that makes absolutely perfect sense to me because Halloween's a special event. So I think a lot of what you're doing here is really, really solid. It's got a lot of potential. And so a lot of what is going to need to happen is just, it's going to have to be about just putting out the videos. Because you got 24 videos out, and like Roberto Blake talks about, put out 100 crappy videos. And so if somebody finds your channel and falls in love with it, which we all kind of hope happens, and then they binge your content and you get that watch time, you get those views and comments and likes, and it's that great dopamine feeling. And so as you create more content and more videos, I think it's going to start to snowball because when people find it and like it, they will have the opportunity to just binge it. And so right now, a binge on your channel is 24 videos. And a year from now, a binge on your channel is going to be much more than that. And so that's just part of the process. Some of that does take patience and things like that. I know people like to come here for like, hey, quick wins. And I've got a few of them. But I think some of it is going to be that steady progress. There's one last thing I want to do because I'm getting into kind of overtime here, but I want to take a look at your SocialBlade. Here's the thing that's interesting. Your channel type is not populating. So this can mean one of two things. Either you're not consistently selecting the same category for your videos, and I would strongly suggest that you create a default on your channel for the category and stick to it as much as possible. And that's actually going to tie into my closing thoughts, which I'm going to share in just a moment. Or there might have just been something wrong with SocialBlade that they didn't pick it up properly. So if you know you've been consistent, you can submit a ticket. SocialBlade can correct it. But if you haven't been, I would recommend go to your old videos and make sure that any old videos that getting less than 100 views per month, go in and make sure that category is set. You don't want to mess around with the settings on anything that's getting more than 100 views per month because it's still bringing in a decent audience. But any of those older ones, if you're going in and, bulking up the description like I talked about, or tweaking your social links or what have you, going in and making sure that the category of the video is consistent. But let's take a look at your SocialBlade here. Jeez, we got ads everywhere on SocialBlade. I like Ergo, the guy that made SocialBlade. He's a nice guy, he supports Mario Marathon, but oh, the ads. So let's see here. You got a C+, which is actually a really good grade for a video, or for a channel that has so few videos and has been around for such a short period of time. So, the growth pattern is relatively strong. So the subscriber growth could be better. I have a video on this channel that you might have already watched, but if you haven't, I recommend checking it out. It's how to get your first 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and it talks about all the technical opportunities you can give people to subscribe. So I think you're already doing a lot of that. And so I've got a couple others, how to get 100 subscribers in a month, 10 subscribers every day. The 10 subscribers every day includes paid options, so something to consider. But each one of those videos has different tips. You might want to, if you have the time, go through and watch those just to see if there's any steps you might be missing, where you can get your subscriber growth happening a little bit more consistently. And so you've got some consistent views here. I'm not seeing projections. Let's go this way. Okay, so we don't have enough data points for a future trend. So as I was saying, it's a pretty young channel. It's pretty early days. You've got a really strong start. You're doing a lot of things right. As you start to put up more videos and time passes, this will start to gather data and it will give you some projections as to what you can expect in the future in terms of when you might be hitting, 500, 1,000 subscribers and things like that, view milestones, etc. And also this can be useful because it can give you a bit of a range. So like a lot of early channels are concentrated and focused on getting monetized. I don't know if that's the case with you, but generally speaking, and so they think like, oh, the second I get monetized, I can quit my day job, which is ridiculous. Don't do that. But here you can have sort of a reasonable expectation of, you know what, if your channel was just instantly monetized right now at its current viewership, these are the kind of amounts you'd be looking at. I find that these for my channel tend to be on the low side. I add about 20% just because my channel has pretty high CPMs, but by and large, this can be a helpful reality check in terms of like, oh, if your channel was monetized right now, you'd be making $3 to $45 a month. That's US, by the way. So, add the currency conversion for Canadian. But in terms of thinking about managing expectations, what you want to invest in your channel, watching those numbers grow over time, I find it can just be a healthy little reality check that it's like, okay, I'm not going to be making $1 million every month if I get monetized tomorrow. So I better be having fun with this and not doing it just for the money. Something to think about. And again, I'm not saying that that's your situation at all. So some final thoughts just about the future for this channel, because I think you got a bright future. I think you're doing well, and I look forward to seeing what you can do in the future. That having been said, this is my caution. This is my concern with this channel. I think that the more you focus on your niche, which I really think is sort of, the clothing, fashion, cosmetics, try-on hauls, that trying out cosmetics and products related to that, things like that. The more you stay within the niche, I think the algorithm will work with you and your audience will come along for the journey. If and when you stray from that, when you go too far into the personal stuff, the vlogs, if you started doing travel videos or who knows what, that's when I think it gets a little problematic. Because that's when you'll start to confuse the algorithm, and maybe your audience will respond to it, maybe they won't, but algorithmically your growth will slow down, your impressions will drop, and so finding new audience members will become harder. So that's just something I want to caution you about and just something to think about going forward. I mean, I think you've already got the right mindset, but search terms, SEO. You don't necessarily have to make videos because of search terms, although that can be very effective. But once you shoot the video, titling it and the description and all those other things, that's when SEO should really be at the forefront. Making those thumbnails for strangers, which I think you do, and titles as well. And so that's if you niche down and stay within your niche as much as possible, I think you will have algorithmically assisted growth that can go very fast for you. And I understand that as a creator, as an artist, as a person, as a whole person, you're going to have interests outside of that niche. And I think it's fine to pursue those. I'm just not sure that putting them on this YouTube channel is necessarily going to be very effective. So just watch out for that. Once you grow an audience, and maybe if you have like a Patreon or something, then that can be a great place where you can have like sort of off-brand content, because these are your true fans. You don't have to worry about algorithms, or you can find other spaces. You can collab with other channels. And so if there is a channel that might not be in your same niche, but maybe it's a travel channel you want to do some travel adventure with, or something else, comedy, video games, whatever it might be, and you're like, yeah, I kind of wish I could make those videos sometimes too because they're kind of fun. Then collaborating with another channel could be a really good way of doing that, so that it's on their channel where they have the algorithm working for gaming or travel or whatever it might be. And then they can still you can still bring in a potential bit of an audience by being there, having a link in the description, info cards, end cards, things like that. Then that can drive some content that way and an audience to a degree, but you don't mess up your algorithmic momentum. Similarly, having the opposite, collabing with other channels where maybe they are in your niche or they're not, but they're interested and you have an idea about, okay, we're going to do a who wore it better. That could be very effective within that fashion thing. Two YouTubers order the same set of clothes, and I don't know, maybe use the same makeup or something, and be like, okay, and they could each apply the makeup, and like you could have side-by-side tutorials. You could do it live. You could like zoom it or something, maybe. I don't know. Like there's an idea. And so there's a lot of different ways that because it's just my concern is about the vlogs, that if you go a little too lifestyle, where lifestyle means absolutely everything, then the algorithm gets confused. But I think that when you stick within sort of a focused niche of one kind or another, that's when you really start to get the algorithmically assisted growth. So anyways, thank you so much for purchasing this paid channel review. And if anyone else is interested in doing something like this, having one of these made for you, just hit me up as a private message on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. We can negotiate a price and what have you. Once again, I want to thank this channel for being very patient. It took me a while to get to this. I had a backlog of different things. And so anyways, this has been a lot of fun. Don't forget to check out our other videos on this channel. We've got a trilogy of videos about SEO. We've got a video about motivation, which can help you take the next step in your journey. And there's those subscriber videos I mentioned. We also have a video now about how to get more views that finally came out after just years of people asking for it. So check out all that stuff on this channel. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video, or perhaps the next channel review.